100. See the foam grow and save a ton of dough.
Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is taking place between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers. The final result will be an overtime win in Philadelphia. If the Flyers end up victorious, they'll still have to win at Game 7 in Chicago. It's a 3-3 tie in the first overtime, meaning this has been a moderate offensive explosion with some decent defense and goaltending squeeze in between this hockey contest. This is a huge game for Blackhawks fans, as their favorite hockey team has been a laughingstock in the Western Conference for most of the previous decade. For the Flyers, they're looking to bring back Stanley Cup glory to the city of brotherly love for the first time since the 1970s. To truly understand the importance of what happens next, we need to hit that left button on the VCR. In other words, we need to rewind. The Blackhawks are an overtime goal away from cementing their legacy in NHL history. But for a franchise who used to not even televise its home games, this seemed like a pipe dream even 5 years ago. Known for his severe cheapness, Blackhawks former owner Bill Wirtz decided to cancel all home broadcast agreements with network and cable television outlets in 1992. According to Wirtz and the Wirtz Corporation as a whole, home broadcasts were, quote, unfair to the team's season ticket holders, unquote. And as crazy as this decision was by Wirtz, fan attendance increased during the mid-1990s. Incredibly, without normal home broadcasts and overall television brand awareness about the team, the Hawks averaged over 19,300 fans during the mid-1990s at the United Center. This is how it worked. WGN and other media outlets couldn't broadcast the Blackhawks games at the United Center. But if a national broadcasting network such as ESPN decided to telecast the game, a Blackhawk fan could purchase HawkVision, a subscription network worth $29.99 per month. Then you could watch the ESPN broadcast of Blackhawks vs. Red Wings at the United Center on normal cable television. It was pretty confusing, to be sure, and as you know, the internet wasn't big back then. If you were a big hockey fan and wanted to know about the Blackhawks, you either had to go to the game or wait for the hockey highlight on SportsCenter. Even then, hockey coverage wasn't big on ESPN, so it was in your best interest to purchase a ticket at the UC. So the fans kept supporting the Blackhawks even though they couldn't watch their favorite team on TV. However, the product on the ice wasn't so great. As if it were a curse from the hockey gods, the Hawks kept finding different ways to choke in the playoffs. An original six team, the Hawks were at one time the second most cursed original six franchise. The New York Rangers went titleless from 1940 until 1994, and the Hawks now find themselves in the same place as the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs and the Hawks have not hoisted Lord Stanley's Cup since the 1960s decade. For the Hawks, it's been even worse. They haven't won it all since 1961, and before that, Chicago went 23 years without hoisting the cup. The Maple Leafs have been a borderline disaster since 1967, but at least the Leafs were a dynasty in the 60s. The Hawks were lucky to even win the 1961 Stanley Cup. So yeah, the Hawks have pretty much been mediocre or worse since 1961. However, there were moments when the franchise seemed destined for championship glory. The worst moment for Chicago hockey fans was the 1971 Stanley Cup Final against the hated Montreal Canadiens. Without air conditioning at Old Chicago Stadium, the Hawks were the home team during Game 7 of the Finals against the Canadiens. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead, legendary netminder Tony Esposito couldn't stop Jacques Lamar's 60-foot-away snapshot, giving the Canadiens their first goal of the contest. Chicago Tribune writer Bob Verdi said there was a humid haze hung over the ice, but Esposito refused to blame the rink's lack of air conditioning on the soft goal he gave up. He had a point, since Lamar's shot was nearly from the center line. The Canadiens never looked back and scored twice more to upset the Hawks and win 3-2 on Chicago's home ice. Since then, the Hawks have never been closer to winning the Cup as they were that day in 1971. That is, until tonight anyway. As painful as it was in 1971, Hawks fans who were still alive in 1992 had to be devastated at what happened next to Ed Belfour and Dominik Hasek. Incredibly, Eddie the Eagle Belfour and Dominik the Dominator Hasek were both on the Blackhawks at the same time. Two future Hall of Fame goalies were both on the Hawks, and yet the franchise still couldn't win a Stanley Cup with either netminder. Belfour was the starter during the brief Belfour-Hasek years. The Hawks made the 1992 Stanley Cup championship round with Belfour and Hasek both on the roster. It was also a Chicago team with Chris Chelios leading the defensemen, and forward Jeremy Roenick was on this Hawks team as well. Led by captain Dirk Graham, the Hawks went on a very impressive winning streak in the playoffs. After falling to a 2-1 series deficit to the St. Louis Blues, the Hawks won their next 3 games against the Blues, as well as back-to-back series sweeps against the Detroit Red Wings and the Edmonton Oilers. Just like that, 11 consecutive victories saw the Blackhawks 4 wins away from ending up as the last team standing. The only team in their proverbial way, the NHL's version of the Super Mario Brothers, otherwise known as Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. The Pittsburgh Penguins were the defending Cup champions, and after narrowly beating the Washington Capitals in Game 7 during Round 1, the Pens found their way in the finals thanks to winning 8 of their last 10 games. Hasek was probably Chicago's better goalie entering the playoffs, as the Dominator earned all rookie honors and went 10-4-1 during his 15 starts between the pipes. Between a contract holdout from Belfour and Crazy Eddie missing games this season due to personal reasons, Hasek was turning into a fan favorite, while Belfour was the more controversial choice at net. However, head coach and general manager Mike Keenan stuck with Belfour throughout the playoffs. He turned out to be the best goaltender in the postseason, not named Tom Barrasso. The problem is Barrasso plays for Pittsburgh, so it was up to Roenick and company to find consistent offense against the Eastern Conference's best goalie. It looked like the Hawks had the Pens right where they wanted them when they took a 4-1 lead during Game 1. But the hockey gods haven't liked Chicago since 1961. Whenever the Hawks can blow a postseason lead during crunch time, they like to do it. The Pens scored 4 unanswered goals on their home ice, including the game winner with just 13 seconds left in OT. A crushing 5-4 loss for the Hawks, and they never rebounded from it. It was a sweep for the Pens as the Penguins celebrated their championship victory at Chicago Stadium. Hasek even showed during the series that he still had some raw rookie moments, but Belfour clearly wasn't himself. Hasek subbed in for Belfour in Game 4 after Eddie the Eagle gave up 2 goals on just 4 shots on goal. Keenan had a tough decision to make between keeping Hasek and Belfour, but with Belfour 1 year removed from winning the Vezina and Williams M. Jennings trophies for best goalie, Keenan had no choice but to allow Hasek to become expendable. The Sabres then cashed in on the young goalie's athleticism by fleecing the Hawks with a terrible trade request. The Sabres received a future Hall of Famer in Hasek, and the Blackhawks received just future draft considerations and a goalie in Stefan Beauregard, who never played a single minute in the goalie crease. The future draft considerations eventually led to the Hawks drafting Eric Daze in the 4th round. Daze became an all-star left winger, but serious back and herniated disc issues saw the team's promising winger limited to just 74 games in 3 seasons after his all-star game appearance in 2002. He retired after playing just 1 game in 2005. That being said, Keenan didn't want there to be a locker room controversy between Hasek and Belfour, and it's easy to say in hindsight when no one knew how great Hasek would become. Unfortunately, Belfour wouldn't even finish his career in Chicago. The Hawks were worried that he would re-sign with the team, so they shipped him off to San Jose for 3 players I personally never heard of until I Googled them. Ulf Dahlin, Michael Sikora, and Chris Terreri. Terreri was put in the very tough position of trying to fill Belfour's shoes in net, and he never got close to reaching Belfour's milestone achievements. Blackhawk fans kept asking themselves, is this team cursed? The 1999 Stanley Cup Final pitted Belfour against Hasek as the Dallas Stars took on the Buffalo Sabres. Belfour eventually won the cup over Hasek in the series, although Hasek won more cups than the Eagle once he began playing for the Red Wings. The Blackhawks managed just one more Western Conference Finals appearance with Belfour in net, and they wouldn't get back to the Western Conference Finals until last season. No one ever wishes someone to die, but success seemed to reach the Blackhawks once Bill Wirtz passed away from complications of cancer on September 26, 2007. His son, Rocky Wirtz, took over the team, and during their first season with Rocky as the CEO, the Hawks finished above 500 for the first time in 6 years. With John McDonough as the president and Joel Quenneville as the head coach, the Hawks made it back to the playoffs and finished in the Final Four. The Red Wings once again got in their way and easily took care of the Hawks 4-1 during the 2009 Western Conference Finals. Entering the 2009-10 season, the Hawks decided they need a veteran forward who could score goals and match up against their biggest rival, the Detroit Red Wings. Marian Hossa signed with the Blackhawks, giving the Hawks a formidable 1-2-3 punch on line 1 on Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Marian Hossa. That is, if they ever needed to use all three guys on the power play. The Hawks were a tough team to beat in 2010, and they finished just 1 point shy of the Western Conference leading Sharks, but the Hawks were the better team in the Western Conference Finals and swept the Sharks to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. Their opponent was an unlikely one, the Philadelphia Flyers. Entering the playoffs as a 7th seed, the Flyers had little title aspirations, but after the top-seeded Capitals were stunned in round 1 to the 8th-seeded Canadiens, there was new hope in Philly. The Flyers looked dead in the water when they trailed 3-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, but Simon Gagne returned for Game 4, and they definitely needed him as Gagne scored in overtime to force a Game 5. Brian Boucher was excellent as the Flyers starting goalie during Game 5, but he had to leave the game early due to knee injuries. As such, Michael Layton finished off Game 5 as the Flyers' new goalie and preserved the 4-0 shutout. Layton then got the start in Game 6 as expected, and he made the most of his opportunity by being perfect through 59 minutes until the Boston Bruins scored late. It was still a 2-1 win for the Flyers, and wouldn't you know it, the Flyers had a chance to win Game 7 and come back from an insurmountable 3-0 deficit. The Bruins actually led 3-0 in Game 7 at the TD Garden in Boston, but they simply couldn't avoid a significantly embarrassing collapse. James Van Riemsdyk, who didn't score a single goal in the playoffs prior to tonight, netted a very important goal late in the first period to give his teammates new life and ending the shutout attempt. The Flyers then scored 3 more unanswered goals to win a surprising 4-3 Game 7 over the Bruins, becoming just the 3rd team in NHL history to come back from a 3-0 series deficit. In fact, this had only been done once in any other American professional sport besides hockey. The Boston Red Sox defeated the New York Yankees 4-3 during the 2004 American League Championship Series. And now the Flyers are back in the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since 1997, looking for their first championship since 1975. The 1997 Stanley Cup Final was very interesting since it pitted the Flyers against the Red Wings, with both teams being in the Eastern Time Zone. The Flyers got swept in that series, with fans questioning if the franchise made the right decision all those years ago when they traded for former number 1 overall draft pick Eric Lindros. Lindros scored just once in that series against the Red Wings, and it cost the Flyers a lot just to acquire him. They sent the Quebec Nordiques 6 players, 2 first-round picks, and $15 million in cash for only Lindros. The Nordiques eventually moved to Colorado, with the future Hall of Famer in Forsberg helping the Colorado Avalanche win 2 Stanley Cup titles. What did Lindros contribute? Just 1 goal in his lone Stanley Cup final, and his constant bad luck of suffering concussions, he suffered 4 during his career in Philly, inevitably led to him being traded to the New York Rangers. The Lindros trade was a huge gamble for the Flyers, and it cost them much-needed role players they probably could have used during their playoff runs in the late 90s and early 2000s. However, the take when debating if Philly should have traded for the future Hall of Famer. In a weird twist of fate, the Rangers included subscribe to Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Insulate your home today and save big with Ecotech Insulation. Ecotech Insulation will save you up to 50% on your heating and cooling bills. Plus, you can receive up to a 15%
Hi, I'm Mike, and I work at Richards Building Supply. I'm standing in front of a house here in Danvers, Illinois, built by the Kingdom Building Group. This home features our RBS vinyl windows manufactured by Midway Windows and Doors, True Cedar steel siding manufactured by Quality Edge, and the CF shingle manufactured by Tilcor. Midway Windows and Doors offers 9 exterior colors and 6 interior finishes on their windows. They coat all their windows in-house, while most other vinyl window manufacturers outsource that process. The true cedar siding on the home is a combination of Quality Edge's thatch and ironstone. The profile is a mix of board and batten and 6-inch lap. The Kynar paint finish on the steel panels allows for some rich colors and some unique blended colors as well. The high quality steel and the Kynar paint finish allow Quality Edge to offer a lifetime warranty on the product. Up on the roof is the Tilcor roof system. The profile is the CF shingle and the color of oak wood. The Tilcor manufactured steel roof panels are covered with a ceramic stone granule, then coated with an acrylic to give the look of a shingle or a shake. The CF stands for concealed fastener. Unlike most metal roofs that have a fastener on the surface or hidden from view, the CF fasteners are 100% concealed, making the system watertight. Tilcor's design for the panels also allow for above sheeting ventilation, making the system one of the most energy efficient roofs on the market, even if you want a dark color. These are products we offer our contractors that have clients that love their home. Products for people that are energy conscious and want a return on their investment.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS. Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Insulate your home today and save big with Ecotech Insulation. Ecotech Insulation will save you up to 50% on your heating and cooling bills. Plus, you can receive up to a $1,500 federal tax credit and another $1,500 cash rebate from your gas company. Ecotech will lower your energy bills and give you a healthier, quieter, and more energy-efficient home. Call Ecotech Insulation at 847-675-1400. See the foam grow and save a ton of dough.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another production of Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe for the back-to-back doubleheader between the 16U and 18U All-Star Games on Sports Broadcast Solutions. It's the Central States Development Hockey League tonight, partner, and that means Tier 2, the best and the best for the 16 and 18U divisions.
And an all-star game. What remains to be seen is, will they play it like an all-star game here where the games and the points matter, or will it be like the NHL where they had to go to a 3-on-3 against each other? My guess tells me it's going to be a very highly competitive game. Can't wait to watch it.
Partner, this is a game where there's scouts. Everybody's here in attendance. The fans, of course, the peers are here. But look, these guys are going to want to put on a good show because the scouts are here, too, to get to the next level of hockey.
You got that right. And what a great place we are at. We're upstairs here at this great Arctic Ice Arena right next to us. We're in the owner's box. Right next to the owner's box is where all these scouts are sitting. And there is a number of them. So these players will look forward to being seen, that's for sure.
Let's give you the starting lineups. That's brought to you by RedStarOutdoor.com. For the U16 white team, here's line 1. It's number 2, Matteo Ruffalo, number 5, Justin Thulin, and number 12, Ilya Dolgin. Line 2, Nick DeGeorge, number 16, Tyler Graff, number 18, Gio Bargini. Line 3, number 21, Michael Zubiak, 23, Blake Feinstein, 27, Tanner Bettis. Line 4, 48, Blake Houston, 56, Carson Ewert, 78, Nick Scavone, and on defense, Riston Siegel and Alexander Zales will be the first pairing. Second pairing, Brendan Chin, and number 51, Andrew Speh. And on line 3, Dylan Sabank, and number 77, Eric Denny. They'll split times between the pipes. Starting today will be Brody Netsky, number 50, in the second period, most likely, Alex Revolta. And Bob, why don't you give us the starting lineups for the U16 red team?
We can do that, and you did really well with those pronunciations. Forwards, first line, Jack Hannock, Caden Jamoro, and Thomas Vodnansky. On the second line, Zachary Palik, Andrew Nugent, Dietrich Miller. Third line, Nathan Ortonau, Colton Cox, Riley Famatid. In the fourth line, Andrew Holtzman, Nicholas Zitzman, and Bobby Barrett. On defense, first line, Zachary Rupich, Ethan Hurt, Jordan Minnie, and Kyle Alpe. And then the third line, Tyler Vaughn, Colin McCammon. In goal starting, Chamberlain Nocera. And the backup mid-second period, I'm guessing maybe, and then Tug Stodaker.
Yeah, the coaching staff for both teams has not told us how they're going to split the goalies tonight. I assume that they'll do one period and the next period just to make it even. We do have some shout-outs as well. That's brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Congratulations and good luck to Hawks U18 goalie Brendan Kelly. Congratulations to Matteo Ruffalo. We're proud of you. Love, Mom and Dad. Good luck to all the Vikings selected for the CSDHL All-Star Games from the Vikings Board of Directors. The Northwest Chargers would like to wish our U18 players, Daniel Perillo and Brian Buckholz, the best of luck in today's CSDHL All-Star Game. Good luck to the U16 Pekin Dragons, Colton Cox, Diedrich Miller, and Jordan Minnie at the CSDHL All-Star Game from the Pekin Hockey Club. Good luck to the African American U18 players, Will Casso, Alex Ringhofer, Connor Stiefer, and Austin Tyler from your U18 coaching staff. Good luck to Jamison Thulin of the Vikings U16s from Mom and Dad. Sending an All-Star Game shout-out to Jason Castaneda of the Falcons. Good luck and congrats, Jason. Good luck to the Chicago Jets U16 U18s who are playing in today's All-Star Game from the Jets Board of Directors. And sending a good luck shout-out to Bobby Barrett at the CSDHL All-Star Game. Our sponsors for the night: Bruns & Bruns, certified public accountants in New Lenox, 815-485-5656. Go online to brunsaccounting.com. Richards Building Supply, the one place for all your wholesale building supplies and product needs. 64 locations nationwide, family owned. Go to www.richards-supply.com. Red Star Outdoors, Chicago's most exclusive billboard opportunities. Be seen, be read. 312-751-9010. RedStarOutdoor.com. Ecotech Insulation, with over 15 years of experience and thousands help. Ecotech Insulation is your #1 choice for Chicago insulation contractors. 847-675-1400, ecotechinsulation.com. And the Chicago Hawks Hockey Club. Congrats and good luck to all the Hawks playing in today's All-Star Games from the board directors, ChicagoHawks.com.
And I'm enamored with this place. You look across, you see the stands over there, and there's individual seating, and just about every seat is taken. Then you look on the side, there's a bunch of people sitting or standing, behind the goal net. And above that is the bar and the restaurant with TV screens in there. So this is just a wonderful facility to be at.
It sure is, Bob. And here are the picks to click. That's brought to you by SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. For the white team partner, look out for Blake Feinstein. 19 goals, 15 assists on the year. Probably their best player on line 1 or 2, what he'll be playing tonight.
So we've put a little asterisk by his name, picks to click, huh?
As for the red team, their go-to goal scorer, that's brought to you by SBS. How about this partner, Mitchell Behrens? He leads the Red All-Star team in goals. Guess what position he plays?
Don't tell me he's a defenseman.
He's a defenseman. 21 goals, 12 assists. What a year for Mitchell Behrens, playing a little Bobby Orr at defense this year.
I was thinking the same thing, and I can't believe you picked a player from the same era that I would have brought up.
I mean, is there a better defenseman all time than Bobby Orr? You could make the argument for Ray Bourque, but I think the best of all, by far, is Bobby Orr.
I think that's kind of well recognized as that.
We're going to take a quick break, and the national anthem coming up next here on SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone. We're back here at Arctic Ice Arena. Public address announcing starting lineups and the national anthem coming up in about 30 seconds, partner. I'm going to say white team 6, red team 5. What are your predictions?
Well, I'm going to have to take the opposite team since you picked that one. Whenever you pick the same team, the other team ends up winning. So I'll pick the other team. 6-5 sounds like a good final. We'll make it, they'll get an empty net goal. We'll make it 6-4.
6-4. All right, that does it for us. Public address announcing coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
From the Naperville Standards, number 3, Jack Robbins. From the Littleton Hawks, number 5, Jack Hanna. From the Littleton Hawks, number 7, James Bravo. From the Chesterfield Bulls, number 8, Thomas Dempsey. From the Littleton Hawks, number 9, Zach Allen. From the Chicago Hawks, number 11, Andrew Lucas. From the Littleton Hawks, number 12, Ethan Hurt. From the Phoenix Dragons, number 14, Jordan King. From the Hawks, number 16, Kyle. From the Littleton Hawks, number 17, Tyler Vaughn. From the Chesterfield Bulls, number 18, number 19, from the Phoenix Dragons, Dietrich Miller. From the New Sailors, number 23, Lee Norton. From the Phoenix Dragons, number 32, Colton Cox. From the New Sailors, number 57, Abby Fontaine. From the Chicago Bulldogs, number 66, Andrew Holtzman. From the Chesterfield Bulls, number 76, David Simpson. From the Chicago Hawks, number 88, Bobby Barrett. In goal, from the Littleton Hawks, number 1, Chamberlain Casero. And number 92, for the New Sailors, Todd Stewart. Everyone comes to rise, place the flag, and join the singing of the national anthem.
It always gets me excited, partner, when they tap their sticks on the ice after the national anthem. It's some old-fashioned puck. It's the white team against the red team, the U16 All-Stars, and maybe we'll see Mitchell Barron score a couple of goals as a defenseman tonight.
Yeah, there's something to be said about tapping the stick on the ice. It happens in games. It's just so hockey when you hear it after the anthem, when the penalty is about to expire, although I'm expecting not too many penalties, if any, tonight.
Yeah. Now, there might be some lazy hockey penalties, slashing, tripping. That's what the officials will be looking for. But other than that, it's going to be hard to see an actual actual penalty take place tonight.
Well, we're saying that, but like you said, an accidental trip or something like that, maybe charging into the boards. I don't know. First off, these are excellent players, so they respect the game, for one. And then, of course, you got the scouts watching, and scouts won't like players that take bad penalties.
So I apologize. Mitchell Barons is an 18U player. He's playing in the 18U game. The leading scorer for the red team is actually Zachary Pellick. He is a normalized forward, also with 17 goals, Colton Cox, and Riley Fomatid with 11 goals, Andrew Holtzman with 17 as well.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by there's no like 30 goal scorer. There's no like 40 goal scorer. There's a lot of all-stars, but they have similar abilities if you look at statistically what they've done so far. So it's hard to figure out who's going to win by looking at the stats. Generally, you have to look at the warm-ups. Both warm-ups, they both look good. So from what we see, it's hard to tell who's going to win this game. But what we do think is it's going to be close either way.
Giramo will take the face-off for Red, and it's won by Red. Here come the Red All-Stars, led by their center, now winger, in Jamison Thowlin. Sorry, that's Caden Giramo. Red team on it. And it's kept in well that time by Alpi. White team will take it near the face-off dot. A little backhanded pass off the boards, and White team will break it out. Little saucer pass at neutral ice, picked up by White, backhanded into the zone, and Red will go on it, led by Giramo. Giramo behind the net. Backhanded pass as he was trying to find Miller. They're listed as line 1, line 2, but they're going to be mix and matching a lot on the lines because the scouts are here. They want to mix and match the lines, give the scouts a nice sample size to what they can do on the ice tonight.
Well, and as for the passing, too, they haven't played played together. They're good players, right? And so there's certain plays you can make, but lots of times it's going to be in an all-star game, an individual effort that results in things sometimes.
Puck now deep into the White end, and it's played well at the corner. That time played well by Siegel. There's a little backhanded pass, stolen away by Red. 2-on-1, shot save, puck loose, and it scatters behind the end line. Now played behind the net, Red on it at the corner. Stolen away by White, and now played at Red. Feinstein had it briefly. Miller got a piece of it. Now Feinstein back on it. Pass center ice. 3-on-3 the other way, and then tap back behind the net. Red team goes after it. That time it's Hurt. Behind the net in the corner, trying to set it up in front. Out to the faceoff dot, picked up by White. Loose puck, knuckle puck style, up in the air. Now picked up by Red. That time was Hurt. Red breaking it out well. Little light pass, stolen away by Bettis. He'll tap it back in, and a breakout play coming up for Red. What have you seen thus far in the first 2 minutes of action, partner?
A lot of intercepted passes, kind of what I was talking about. They're not connecting yet because they don't know where their teammates are going to be. Definitely strong pressure. Here we go.
Centered up in front, puck loose. No look shot, easy save by the netminder for White as they go with Netsky between the pipes in the first period. White team on the attack. A lot of skating through the neutrals, through the slot there, partner. You like to see a shot on that. Shot save, easy save, but a good pad save nonetheless that time by Nacera as the puck scatters out to the point. Now at neutral ice, picked up by Holtzman. Little backhanded pass to neutral ice and then shot back into the zone. Red team trying to break it out. 22:33 remaining in the period as no score.
So far, not a lot of checking either. So we talked about the score. I think the score will be 6-5 or 6-4 is what we predicted. It will be a higher scoring game if the defenses are not going to do some checking. You can't just skate through the defensive zone like that unscathed.
Yeah, you said it, partner. The hitting is going to be lower because they want to show what they can do. You want to play the body, you want to avoid the hits, the roughing, the charges. You're not going to see a lot of that tonight because you know what? Being in the box does not help you at the next level either. There are enforcers like Barnaby was with the Rangers and Ty Domi was with the Maple Leafs. But if you're going to be in the box, you also have to score goals. So you can't just go to the box and not do anything on the offensive end. Little pass to the blue line, picked up by Red. Great two-line pass. Cox had it on his backhand, and good stick handling as he sets it up to the corner. Now played by Red. White now has it, and White trying to get it out. Red keeping it in, might be a tripping call, but the hands did not go up. Wrist shot, and just past the blocker, the netminder in White. Notsky doing a good job between the pipes. Both netminders, partner, have not been pressured that much thus far.
No, they haven't, but I do see that the Red team is doing a much better job of pressuring the White team in the defensive zones.
Now Barrett on it. He plays it to the corner. Red team after the puck. Slow-moving puck, and now picked up by Red. As they'll play it to the defenseman. Rupich had it briefly. Now back to Rupich. His partner is Alpi. Looks for Alpi. Gets it on his stick. Good tape-to-tape pass. Still in their zone. Backward skating. And the puck going the wrong direction, but it's good breakout play nonetheless by Red. Now at neutral ice. They have an odd man rush. 3-on-2. Good pass. Out to the face-off dot. Slip and slide. Falling on the ice, partner. You got to watch your edges if you're White. Now in the slot. Wrist shot block. Picked up by White as they look to break it out. Stop and start move to center ice. And now played by White on the attack.
The difference there is Red had a 3-on-2 against White, and then White had a 1-on-2 against Red. That pressure is going to wear White out as the game progresses.
Played to Zubiak. Pass center ice. White on the puck. No look backhander, and it's easily stolen by Red. Now past center ice, just past the tape as it's played on the boards. Poked in by Red. White trying to break it out.
The other place where communication is key is on defense, where the two defensemen have to talk to each other. Like you talked about that blowout in the defensive zone, stuff like that. The other defender has to know what to do at that point.
Red now on it. As Red plays it off the boards, looking for Geramo, and now at center ice. Still no score. They are not tracking the shots on goal tonight. White steals it with some numbers on the attacking end. Stop and start move, read well by Red. As it's played now in the zone of White. Stop and start move, and a beauty partner. Great stick handling by the White player.
Yes, it was.
At neutral ice. Past the stick of Thulin, and now that shot just goes wide.
That was a nice pass, so right out in front, just went just a little. Here we are in the whistle. That shot just barely skated over the net and into the corner. Red had a one-timer earlier, too. They had kind of a 2-on-0 almost inside the goalie and chose to take the shot instead of pass to the middle to an open net. So it's early. The teammates are still figuring themselves out.
Face-off won by Red as it's played right now by Ordinal. Out behind the net as was played by Bargini. Stop and start move. And he was trying to feed it that time to Ortonau. And now played by White as they look to break it out. Tapped off the boards as it's a 2-on-2 the other way. Couldn't get the shot on net, but he got a break on the defenseman. He had a step on him and couldn't get the shot on net. Wide open in front, and the puck slides past his stick. And the inertia finds its way to a Red stick as they try to break it out.
Well, that was a lazy shot at the goalie's legs, hoping for a rebound, maybe a misdirection. It's never a mistake to shoot it on net. There's another one. On net, easily to the side.
Yeah, right off the pad that time in Osera. He's from Littleton. At the corner, nice spinorama. Look at that no-look pass. And unfortunately, the ref got in the way of the pass. No icing. We play on.
That's what happens when you pass it back to the point and you don't get it. Again, some pressure from Red.
Out at the point. Didn't get much of that wrist shot. Rebound try. Goes off the side of that. We play on. Red team. Good forecheck right now on this line by Red. Now played that time by Holtzman at the corner. As might look for the trip, but it's not going to be called.
Yeah, Zell's stick poke check prevented that goal from happening.
Played by Ortonau at the points. Slow-moving saucer pass. That shot goes very wise as Karam's off the board. Now near the face-off dot. As Red will now play it. Backhanded pass, past the tape. Got to be better on those passes as Ordinau tried to feed it to Vaughn. Now into the zone, picked up by White as they look to break it out off the tape. Here comes the pressure by Red. Off the skate, now to neutral ice. Red will play it at the blue line. Stolen away, here comes White. Led that time by Bargini. In front, off the skate, and Red will steal it. That's an icing if it makes its way to the end line, but it won't. White will have to break it out the long way. Out to the corner. Saucer pass out in front. Dangerous place to break the puck. Could have been a trip. No call, partner. It looks like the refs are going to let them play tonight.
I like that. That was certainly an inadvertent trip. Yeah, he fell down as a result, but no harm done.
Red will now play. A lot of neutral ice, partner. These teams are quick at getting out of the zones.
Yes, they are. And it's been generally end-to-end action except for the forechecking by the Red team here.
It's very even hockey, partner. It's hard to tell which team's going to win. No look, backhanded pass out in front. Here comes White.
Well, that's what we thought in the warm-ups, too. It looked relatively even. You didn't see like a size advantage, a speed advantage, anything.
Revolta now in net for the White team.
But you know what? If you're an all-star, you want to have the best competition on the other side as you possibly can. And this is a good way to do it.
Red team steals it. Now White has it. Good pass past the blue line. As White goes on the attack. Out behind the net, White stolen it, and they'll play it on the corner. Back and forth we go that time, Red by Right, but a great play that time by McCammon.
I like what
behind the net.
Yeah, I like what White is doing, though. They're holding on to the puck just a little bit longer.
Here comes Red, stolen away by White. On it now is Siegel. We talked a lot about him in the pregame show. See what kind of night Siegel has tonight. Out in front, dangerous place to break the puck out. Shot, good pad save that time by Revolta. White still trying to get it out. Now behind the net, double team behind, and now it trickles out to the corner. No look backhander off the skate, and it's spearheaded by Red. White still can't break it out. Now a neutralized play. That time, good forecheck by Red. Parter made it tough for White to get that puck out.
Red's making it difficult for White all along both ends of the rink here.
No shots on goal. Do apologize for that, not being recorded tonight. Red. Now played and shot. That time was by Minnie. As Red on the attack, stolen away. Shot! Tried to go top shelf that time by Hannock, but couldn't get it past the netminder in Revolta as we stop play at 37.
What a terrific save. Nobody on the defense cut that play off, so he just kept going and going and got close to the goalie until he made a great shot to the upper right corner. The goalie made a great save with this blocker. The face-off right away.
Well, it's still no score, partner, but I think you give the slight edge to Red. They've been better on their forecheck right now than White.
Well, and that's the scary thing. It's still 0-0. So, White all of a sudden gets a breakaway on maybe a forecheck that doesn't work quite right. And so even though Red is dominating, White can get that first goal.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I'm not going to call him cherry picking because it's still an aggressive play, right? You get behind the defenseman. It's cherry picking technically, but for the defenseman, he's got to eye that. What they're going to do is, that little winger, he skates kind of medium speed, and then he chucks it towards the other blue line. You get that two-line pass. Before you know it, it's a 1-0 on your goalie.
Well, we have had one breakaway. It's not exactly a breakaway, but got a pass behind the defense. That was Red that executed that play. Didn't result in the goal. Here's one right out in front. Could have been tipped in.
Yeah, more like a pass. Looked like they want to do a tap-and-go play or try to redirect it into the net. Now Red will play in their own zone. They get it out very quick, and now a neutralized battle. This time Red on the forecheck. Off the stick of Revolta. Jess got it out past the attacking player of Red. Now on it is Hannock, and now behind the net. No look back, no look forehanded pass off the corner as Red looks to steal. Corner battle. Who'll win this one? It's won by White, but it's still deep in their own territory. Off the hash mark. Out in front. Can't get anything on that shot, and White gets it. Slowing it down now, and a saucer pass, two-line style. No one touched it. Waiting for the call from the nearest ref.
They washed it off.
I don't know, partner. I thought that was an icing. What did you think?
I don't know what to say on that. He didn't touch it. All you can go is with what the line judge called. Washed it off.
14-18 remaining. No score as Revolta has been great between the pipes for White. Partner, I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. We still got a long way to go, 25-minute halves, but so far it's the battle of the netminders tonight.
Well, it's going to be a low-scoring game the way things are going. It's such a pleasure to watch this kind of a game where all four lines have good players on it. It's not like you have to wait for that first line to get back out here before somebody can get a shot on goal.
Off the glass, Ortno will play it, and then stolen away by White. Here comes Feinstein, past the blue line, looking to center it, and it's now played at the corner. Next break, we're going to have the president of the CSDHL, as we appreciate him joining us tonight.
And I think you got your chance for the first break here.
Actually, no, we're going to have, he's closest to me, so we're going to have Bob ask him the questions. As our special guest tonight is the president of the Central States Developmental Hockey League.
So, Jimmy Wright, thanks for...
There we go.
Great. Thanks, Jimmy Wright, the Central States president, for stopping by. So, welcome. If you would, can you tell us a little about first yourself?
Yeah, I've been a president of Central States for about 9 years. I've been involved with Central States for about 12. My youth hockey career, I would say, has been about 25 years long. I was the president of Park Ridge for a long time where my son played, and been a volunteer for 25 years and lucky to be part of Central States for the past 12.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Central States Development Hockey League itself?
Right, so the league was formed about 35 years ago, and now we're still going strong this year. This year we added a squirt minor division, which at the prospect level and at the minor level. And we also, in the past 2 years, have introduce a prospect division, which we've added 60 teams and gives an opportunity for about 125 more players in Illinois to play hockey. So we're very proud of our prospect division and our major and minor division. They call us the best Tier 2 hockey league in the country, and we'll take that, you know. But yeah, we're proud of all our teams. We have the 18U team here in Central States, the Hawks, the 16 Bulldogs, and the 14 Sabres are all going to nationals. Usually every year, the teams from out of Illinois all come from our league at the Tier 2 level. And then we have teams in St. Louis, Colorado, Indy, Omaha, and of course Illinois, and in St. Louis. Afton's going at the 16, the Eagles are 14, and Chesterfield's at 18. And Littleton, Colorado, they swept the board. They're going at all three levels. So the competition level in Central State is great, and it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Can you also tell us about the All-Star game tonight? Yeah,
so 4 of the coaches from our midget level came to us and asked if we could put together a committee to run a All-Star game for the 14s and the 16s and the 18s. Bob Heelan, Chris Chelios, Mike Perillo, and Nick Polis, this is his home rink, and they actually should get all the credit. They put this all together. This is a great show here, great showing. As we see, the hockey here is great. But yeah, this is the first year we've done this. We've talked about this for some time now, and honestly, this is by far away more than we anticipated. From all the kids getting letters and coming in, seeing their picture on the TV, and this getting broadcasted, and these kids get to show off their skills to their family and friends and anyone who wants to watch. I think that the All-Star game is great for these guys, and we're going to continue it next year with a couple more levels also.
Well, thank you, Central State's President Jimmy Wright, and also we are more than honored to be a part of it. Thanks for having us as well.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
We appreciate Jimmy Wright for joining the broadcast. And partner, it's still 0-0 after all that. Centered in front off the skate. Partner, is there a chance that it'll be 0-0 and we have to go to a shootout to see who scores first?
I don't know what their overtime rules are for this. What an exciting outcome. But you know what? I think there's going to be some goals scored somewhere along the way. But I'm going to put my money on Red getting the first goal.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on it too, as that's a blocker save by the netminder in Nocera.
But I guess a 3-2 a guess might have been a better choice, or a 2-1 guess than a 6-4 one.
I mean, we should have the All-Star games for hockey be like this. 0-0. How exciting is this? As much as I love watching 8-7 NHL All-Star games, 0-0 is also fun to watch as well.
Well, my favorite hockey is watching Olympic hockey, especially when somebody's had like 3-2 in the third period and it's a one-goal game, and you're out of the medal contention. And the way that the players are playing here, they really want to win. It shows.
Red team on the forecheck. Still no score if you're just joining us. It has been a battle of the netminders. But partner, we really should give credit to the defense too. The netminders haven't had to make a lot of saves because not a lot of shots on goal thus far.
Well, I think what that also says is when you have 25 players on each team with the similar ability levels, you're going to have a low-scoring game like this.
Just credit to the defenders. First for Red, Rupich, Hurt, Minnie, Alpe, Vaughn, and McCammon. And for White, Siegel, Zells, Chin, Spess, Bank, and Denny. Here comes Red, faking the shot.
Side of the net.
I don't know about that one, partner. I think I would have tried to reset, try to center it in front. That was a tough angle. Even if it had gotten on net, it would have been an easy save that time for Revolta.
Well, it's never a bad shot to shoot on net. You hope for that rebound or a strange hop. In lower scoring games, those are the kinds of goals that happen.
Yeah, always think about your angles, right, as Miller goes after it. You want that 45 to 90-degree angle shot. Anything less is probably an easy save. Bad defense that time by White, partner. Guy wide open in front of the net for a potential one-timer.
Yeah, they interviewed Kane, and, of course, he likes to shoot from behind the net and bounce it off the back of the goalie.
Yeah, did you know that Michael Layton, the goalie that was playing for Philly, about 5 or 6 years later, he ended up playing goalie for the Blackhawks?
Yes, he did.
Layton was actually fantastic most of that series. He was the backup that year, too. Boucher was actually the starter, and he got hurt, so they went to Layton. That was a great series between Philly and the Hawks. Philly has not been to the Stanley Cup Finals since then. Out in front, chance for White, just off the stick. Partner, you got to get that stick down.
We had a perfect angle on that view.
At the intermission break, I'm going to tell you a great story about when I didn't keep my stick on the ice and something funny that my dad did to make sure I would always keep it on the ice going forward.
I can only imagine. We'll wait for that story.
off the glass. Red playing. And White's definitely made some adjustments, partner. The forecheck's been better. What have you seen from White the last couple of minutes?
Well, the game has been more even. Red has not kept the puck in the White zone quite as much. White has made some adjustments, obviously for the better, but we're still at 0-0, and 8 minutes to go in the first period of 2 periods. So there's only 33 more minutes of hockey to go and still no score.
By the way, the text line's open. Your favorite high school, college, or NHL memory. Text 330-957-7653. That shot goes very wide.
Somehow I'm not surprised Red came out of it with the puck after that.
Appreciate everybody watching. If there's anything wrong, by the way, text the text line. We'll make sure to get it fixed for you. That wraparound try, net's off. And the refs are going to play on, partner. Here comes White.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. They moved the net back on and keep playing.
I think in a regulation game they'd have to call All-Star game more of a fun thing. Let's play on. Let's keep the momentum going for White on their forecheck.
Yeah, a fun, serious game.
You know, we always ask who we're going to have in the post-game show. If this is a 0-0 game, especially if it becomes 1-0 with under a minute to go in the second, I think we have to interview both goalies.
I was just going to say that. Pick a goalie or both.
And remember, 4 goalies are playing today since it's an all-star game. It's been fun. Goalies haven't been pressured that much as the defense for both teams has just been fantastic.
It's been the defense that have stopped a lot of the shots. The shots that have been on net have been at the goalie.
And just from tough angles, too, like that one. That's an easy save for the netminder in Revolta.
I'm reminded earlier, though, there was that one shot that was headed for the from our angle, upper left corner, the goalie's upper right corner. So that's the highest quality shot. And then the red team had a shot that did go over the net as well on a redirect. So they have had a couple of quality shots.
For Alex Revolta, he plays for Afton. His favorite NHL player, I'm going to butcher this name. It's been a while since I've watched him play.
There's
UC
the
Saros,
redirect.
it's in the net. Score for Red. How about that? What I'm about to announce, his favorite player. Red scores when you least expect it. They're going to credit the goal that time to Nicholas Zittman.
Well, he was out in front and did the redirect, a perfect redirect, back just outside the goalie's outstretched legs. Good shot from the point and a perfect redirect. Can't do it any better than that. So now we have that 1-goal game where the white team is going to have to try harder to get the game tied up and maybe have to forego a little bit of defense to get that puck up the rink.
Yeah, now you have to decide if you're White, when do we start pinching? I think you still play your game until it's 1-0 with under 5 minutes to go in the second period.
It's an all-star game. Start pinching. Get that goal.
That was a nice-looking goal, partner. We talked about how White team, even when Red has been doing good jobs on the forechecks, a lot of the shots have been from tough angles. That was one of the few times Red got a shot at a good angle. One-on-one the other way, but it goes past the end line. And we play Olympic rules. Once it goes past the end line, it's an automatic icing.
Right, and Red was going to be the first one to touch it, which you could argue that was a pass, but still the icing happened, and they're not going to say the Red team could have got it first.
Do you like the 2-line passes, or do you miss the old hockey when 2-line passes were outlawed?
No, I don't want to get into a soccer diatribe, but I like no offsides. I like the fact that they've taken the 2-line pass, and you can now do that. I like a faster game, more scoring.
1-0 in favor of Red. Nicholas Zittman from Chesterfield has the answer tonight. He's been the difference in terms of goal scoring. No-look shot out behind the net. Red team looking to break it out. Played at the blue line by Siegel as he tried to shoot it in, but it was blocked by Red. Line change coming up for Red as White looks to take advantage. They got to stay on side, though they can't. And good job by Red on that line change. They did it quick and forced White to get back, and they couldn't get back on side in time, and it's offside against White.
Yeah, go back to that Red goal earlier. It just seemed like Red had just a few more chances in the offensive zone, and when you keep giving the other team a few extra chances, eventually one's bound to go in, and it finally did.
Another man losing his edge. That's twice we've seen that tonight. This time it's Brennan Chin from the Jets.
So it's like the Super Bowl grass?
3-on-2. Plays the puck well. Centering pass in front. No-look shot just goes wide as the 3-on-2 not taken advantage of by Red. White's had their chances, partner, but it's been limited because of the defense by Red. Now White on the attack. Shot! Good job on the pad save that time with the netminder in Nocera. Backhanded pass. Read well by Red, but White keeping it in.
Now White doing the pressuring.
The forecheck's definitely been better for White. They started a little slow, now a 2-on-1 for Red. Good pass. Tried to get it past the netminder, and a no-look centering pass. Maybe try to deflect it off the skate into the net, but the netminder in Revolta saw it all the way.
Well, Jamison Thulin got back on defense and broke that play up on the 2-on-1, lifting the stick from behind on the pass. What great defensive effort there.
Barrett's got a breakaway. He's got a step on the defender. Shot, and it's in the net. Barrett scores. 2-0 advantage for Red.
Right under the goalie's left hand, right below the catcher.
Bobby Barrett listed as line 4 tonight, but that was anything but a line 4 goal. That was nifty, partner. He only had a half step on the defender. Didn't have time to deke out the netminder. Just goes with a little low snapshot into the back of the net.
Well, that's why they say shoot it and shoot it quick. He had the breakaway, little miniature breakaway, but sure breakaway, and it went in. Now a 2-goal lead.
Well, we talked about, is this game going to be 0-0 going into the second period? It's now 2-0, as Red has had 2 very good goals. They are anything but garbage goals. White team's got to get back quicker on defense, avoid those breakaways.
Well, and this comes back to the all-star kind of a game. You have to have certain set plays to get out, and the teams haven't had enough time to practice those.
That went off the crossbar, partner. Could have been 3-0.
But the breakout plays have to be crisp.
Thought about the wraparound try. Instead, he'll reset at the corner. Out to the point. Shot off the glove and frozen by the netminder in Revolta. Off the shot by Alpi.
Looked very similar to the first goal, except there was nobody there to make the redirect.
We'll get a face-off. And it'll be on the near side. So Barrett with a goal, Zittman with a goal. Intermission interviews, those are brought to you by sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Once again, our shout-outs, Red Star Outdoor. Go to redstaroutdoor.com. That shot off the stick and still in play off the boards. Big thank you to our sponsors of the night, including Bruns & Bruns LT. That pass in front. Shot! Oh, what a glove save! Butterfly style, Bob. Great save by the netminder in Nocera.
I didn't think people could have reflexes that quick. That puck was headed in the net, put his great big paw right in the way, and grabbed it out of thin air, and there was a lot of empty net on that side. What, about 15 feet away from the goalie on that shot, maybe 20?
We'll probably go with Barrett for the intermission interview if this score continues the way it is.
Here's
White
another
team on the pinch, and now another breakaway for Red. He's got 2 steps on the defense. Shot and a goal!
Same shot right outside the glove on the goalie's left side.
How about that, partner? Line 4, they all score. Holtzman, Zittman, and now Barrett.
They need to be elevated to line 1, right?
Now, I'm not sure if that's actually line 4. They did it by alphabetical order, but I have it listed, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they could actually be playing line 1. But how about this line, partner? Holtzman, Zitzman, and Barrett, all 3 goals on that line.
What I noticed is on the third goal, he shot the puck in exactly the same spot that the second goal was scored. So when you find an opening in the goal, you keep using it. Why shoot it someplace else when you know he's going to let that one go on the glove side?
Coming into this game, Zitzman, 10 goals, 12 assists. Holtzman, we talked about him in the pregame show, 17 goals, 10 assists. And for Barrett, that was just his 6th goal. He's not much of a goal scorer, partner, but could have fooled me on how he scored on that breakaway. Out
Center.
in front, puck loose, and just avoids going past the end line as, oh, here we go. Pushing and shoving behind the net. And maybe a little friendly pushing and shoving. Both of these teams know each other very well.
Yeah, but I don't think that was friendly pushing and shoving until we looked to see that, make sure they weren't from the same team on that. But the game has really taken a change. It was 2-0 when the Red goaltender made a fantastic save with his glove, and then about 1 minute later at the other end we had that breakaway from the shot on the point that hit the toes, and then it went in the net. So 3-0 instead of a 2-1.
Out to the blue line, kept in by Red. 20-minute intermission, and then the 18U game starts at 8 o'clock. White's going to have to do some goal scoring in the second period, partner. Otherwise, it's going to be a Red victory. Shot, pad save. It's been tough for White, partner. They haven't had a lot of shots in front of the net. Out behind, try to one-time it, and it was just away from the forehand of his stick. Couldn't get the shot on net. Here comes red team, as it's led right now by Minnie. Out behind the net. He's trying to send it that time to Vodnansky.
What a play by Minnie, though. At the other end, he broke up the play and took the puck all the way up ice on this side, and red still has the puck, control of it.
And I'm sure there are parents watching the game. A broken stick. Hopefully it's not my kid, because those are not cheap to replace. The line judge gets rid of that broken stick out behind the net. Under 2 minutes to go. 3-0 if you're just joining us. 2 of those goals are via the breakaway.
And both went in under the glove on the left side.
The third goal was definitely White's fault, but you can't be too mad at White, partner. You're down 2. It's an all-star game. It's kind of a fun game, too. You don't mind the pinch, but when you pinch like that, it does lead to breakaways. And that's what happened to Red when Holtzman scored to make it 3-0. And White keeps it in as it's stolen away by White. Tried to send it up that time over to Thulin, and now White will play it out behind the net. Going after it is Zubiak from the Vikings. On the corner, near the face-off dot. Finding Thulin. Thulin shot, easy save that time by Nocera. Out near the face-off dot. Under a minute to play in the period. Off the stick, red team steals it. Great play past the blue line. Now past center, hard hit into the boards. You could hear that from here all the way to Chicago.
Another steal.
Red team's got time, no need to rush. Shot, easy save. That time by the netminder in Revolta, as it remains a 3-0 tie.
Yeah, Palick and Geramo were both in front of the net. He could have passed it to either one of those, and they would have had a nice shot. But instead, he chose to shoot it at the goalie.
Face-off won by White. They'll send it up to the boards. Kept in well that time by Red. Now out behind the net, Geramo after it. At the corner, now played by Zells. Zells after it, off the stick that time of Palick, out at the corner. 23 seconds left. Looking to set it up in front, past the blue line, splits the D on the pass, and they'll look to get it out. Alpy on it, as Red would love to have a 4-0 lead, Bob, but 3-0 is just as good.
Yeah, I think you take that 3-0 lead to the intermission.
They're going to stay aggressive, though. Shot attempt that time by Geramo. As 3 seconds left. One more shot attempt for Red if they can get it off quick. Shot! Oh, it would have gone in if it had gone in, but that would have counted.
About what, 6 or 8 inches wide to the right?
Yeah. And that'll do it for the period. So we will get the man who scored the third goal to make it 3-0, Andrew Holtzman, in the intermission report. You are watching Sports Broadcast Solutions, broadcasting network for everyone.
Sure we can get an intermission report done? They're letting us?
It's June 9th, 2010. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is taking place between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers. The final result will be an overtime win in Philadelphia. If the Flyers end up victorious, they'll still have to win a Game 7 in Chicago. It's a 3-3 tie in the first overtime, meaning this has been a moderate offensive explosion with some decent defense and goaltending squeeze in between this hockey contest. This is a huge game for Blackhawks fans, as their favorite hockey team has been a laughingstock in the Western Conference for most of the previous decade. For the Flyers, they're looking to bring back Stanley Cup glory to the city of brotherly love for the first time since the 1970s. To truly understand the importance of what happens next, we need to hit that left button on the VCR. In other words, we need to rewind. The Blackhawks are an overtime goal away from cementing their legacy in NHL history. But for a franchise who used to not even televise its home games, this seemed like a pipe dream even 5 years ago. Known for his severe cheapness, Blackhawks former owner Bill Wirtz decided to cancel all home broadcast agreements with network and cable television outlets in 1992. According to Wirtz and the Wirtz Corporation as a whole, home broadcasts were, quote, unfair to the team's season ticket holders, unquote. And as crazy as this decision was by Wirtz, fan attendance increased during the mid-1990s. Incredibly, without normal home broadcasts and overall television brand awareness about the team, the Hawks averaged over 19,300 fans during the mid-1990s at the United Center. This is how it worked. WGN and other media outlets couldn't broadcast the Blackhawks games at the United Center. But if a national broadcasting network such as ESPN decided to telecast the game, a Blackhawk fan could purchase HawkVision, a subscription network worth $29.99 per month. Then you could watch the ESPN broadcast of Blackhawks vs. Red Wings at the United Center on normal cable television. It was pretty confusing, to be sure, and as you know, the internet wasn't big back then. If you were a big hockey fan and wanted to know about the Blackhawks, you either had to go to the game or wait for the hockey highlight on SportsCenter. Even then, hockey coverage wasn't big on ESPN, so it was in your best interest to purchase a ticket at the UC. So the fans kept supporting the Blackhawks even though they couldn't watch their favorite team on TV. However, the product on the ice wasn't so great. As if it were a curse from the hockey gods, the Hawks kept finding different ways to choke in the playoffs. An original six team, the Hawks were at one time the second most cursed original six franchise. The New York Rangers went titleless from 1940 until 1994, and the Hawks now find themselves in the same place as the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs and the Hawks have not hoisted Lord Stanley's Cup since the 1960s decade. For the Hawks, it's been even worse. They haven't won it all since 1961, and before that, Chicago went 23 years without hoisting the Cup. The Maple Leafs have been a borderline disaster since 1967, but at least the Leafs were a dynasty in the 60s. The Hawks were lucky to even win the 1961 Stanley Cup. So yeah, the Hawks have pretty much been mediocre or worse since 1961. However, there were moments when the franchise seemed destined for championship glory. The worst moment for Chicago hockey fans was the 1971 Stanley Cup Final against the hated Montreal Canadiens. Without air conditioning at Old Chicago Stadium, the Hawks were the home team during Game 7 of the Finals against the Canadiens. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead, legendary netminder Tony Esposito couldn't stop Jacques Lamar's 60-foot-away snapshot, giving the Canadiens their first goal of the contest. Chicago Tribune writer Bob Verdi said there was a humid haze hung over the ice, but Esposito refused to blame the rink's lack of air conditioning on the soft goal he gave up. He had a point, since Lamar's shot was nearly from the center line. The Canadiens never looked back and scored twice more to upset the Hawks and win 3-2 on Chicago's home ice. Since then, the Hawks have never been closer to winning the Cup as they were that day in 1971. That is, until tonight anyway. As painful as it was in 1971, Hawks fans who were still alive in 1992 had to be devastated at what happened next to Ed Belfour and Dominik Hasek. Incredibly, Eddie the Eagle Belfour and Dominik the Dominator Hasek were both on the Blackhawks at the same time. Two future Hall of Fame goalies were both on the Hawks, and yet the franchise still couldn't win a Stanley Cup with either netminder. Belfour was the starter during the brief Belfour-Hasek years. The Hawks made the 1992 Stanley Cup championship round with Belfour and Hasek both on the roster. It was also a Chicago team with Chris Chelios leading the defenseman, and forward Jeremy Roenick was on this Hawks team as well. Led by captain Dirk Graham, the Hawks went on a very impressive winning streak in the playoffs. After falling to a 2-1 series deficit to the St. Louis Blues, the Hawks won their next 3 games against the Blues, as well as back-to-back series sweeps against the Detroit Red Wings and the Edmonton Oilers. Just like that, 11 consecutive victories saw the Blackhawks 4 wins away from ending up as the last team standing. The only team in their proverbial way, the NHL's version of the Super Mario Brothers, otherwise known as Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. The Pittsburgh Penguins were the defending Cup champions, and after narrowly beating the Washington Capitals in Game 7 during Round 1, the Pens found their way in the finals thanks to winning 8 of their last 10 games. Hasek was probably Chicago's better goalie entering the playoffs, as the Dominator earned all rookie honors and went 10-4-1 during his 15 starts between the pipes. Between a contract holdout from Belfour and Crazy Eddie missing games this season due to personal reasons, Hasek was turning into a fan favorite, while Belfour was the more controversial choice in net. However, head coach and general manager Mike Keenan stuck with Belfour throughout the playoffs. He turned out to be the best goaltender in the postseason, not named Tom Barrasso. The problem is Barrasso plays for Pittsburgh, so it was up to Roenick and company to find consistent offense against the Eastern Conference's best goalie. It looked like the Hawks had the Pens right where they wanted them when they took a 4-1 lead during Game 1. but the hockey gods haven't liked Chicago since 1961. Whenever the Hawks can blow a postseason lead during crunch time, they like to do it. The Pens scored 4 unanswered goals on their home ice, including the game winner with just 13 seconds left in OT. A crushing 5-4 loss for the Hawks, and they never rebounded from it. It was a sweep for the Pens as the Penguins celebrated their championship victory at Chicago Stadium. Hasek even showed during the series that he still had some raw rookie moments, but Belfour clearly wasn't himself. Hasek subbed in for Belfour in Game 4 after Eddie the Eagle gave up 2 goals on just 4 shots on goal. Keenan had a tough decision to make between keeping Hasek and Belfour, but with Belfour 1 year removed from winning the Vezina and Williams M. Jennings trophies for best goalie, Keenan had no choice but to allow Hasek to become expendable. The Sabres then cashed in on the young goalie's athleticism by fleecing the Hawks with a terrible trade request. The Sabres received a future Hall of Famer in Hasek, and the Blackhawks received just future draft considerations and a goalie in Stefan Beauregard, who never played a single minute in the goalie crease. The future draft considerations eventually led to the Hawks drafting Eric Daze in the 4th round. Daze became an all-star left winger, but serious back and herniated disc issues saw the team's promising winger limited to just 74 games in 3 seasons after his all-star game appearance in 2002. He retired after playing just 1 game in 2005. That being said, Keenan didn't want there to be a locker room controversy between Hasek and Belfour, and it's easy to say in hindsight when no one knew how great Hasek would become. Unfortunately, Belfour wouldn't even finish his career in Chicago. The Hawks were worried that he would re-sign with the team, so they shipped him off to San Jose for 3 players I personally never heard of until I Googled them. Ulf Dahlin, Michael Sikora, and Chris Terreri. Terreri was put in the very tough position of trying to fill Belfour's shoes in net, and he never got close to reaching Belfour's milestone achievements. Blackhawk fans kept asking themselves, is this team cursed? The 1999 Stanley Cup Final pitted Belfour against Hasek as the Dallas Stars took on the Buffalo Sabres. Belfour eventually won the cup over Hasek in the series, although Hasek won more cups than the Eagle once he began playing for the Red Wings. The Blackhawks managed just 1 more Western Conference Finals appearance with Belfour in net, and they wouldn't get back to the Western Conference Finals until last season. No one ever wishes someone to die, but success seemed to reach the Blackhawks once Bill Wirtz passed away from complications of cancer on September 26, 2007. His son, Rocky Wirtz, took over the team, and during their first season with Rocky as the CEO, the Hawks finished above 500 for the first time in 6 years. With John McDonough as the president and Joel Quenneville as the head coach, the Hawks made it back to the playoffs and finished in the Final Four. The Red Wings once again got in their way and easily took care of the Hawks 4-1 during the 2009 Western Conference Finals. Entering the 2009-10 season, the Hawks decided they need a veteran forward who could score goals and match up against their biggest rival, the Detroit Red Wings. Marian Hossa signed with the Blackhawks, giving the Hawks a formidable 1-2-3 punch on line 1 on Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Marian Hossa. That is, if they ever needed to use all 3 guys on the power play. The Hawks were a tough team to beat in 2010, and they finished just 1 point shy of the Western Conference leading Sharks, but the Hawks were the better team in the Western Conference Finals and swept the Sharks to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. Their opponent was an unlikely one, the Philadelphia Flyers. Entering the playoffs as a 7th seed, the Flyers had little title aspirations, but after the top-seeded Capitals were stunned in round 1 to the 8th-seeded Canadiens, there was new hope in Philly. The Flyers looked dead in the water when they trailed 3 conference semifinal, but Simon Gagne returned for Game 4, and they definitely needed him as Gagne scored in overtime to force a Game 5. Brian Boucher was excellent as the Flyers starting goalie during Game 5, but he had to leave the game early due to knee injuries. As such, Michael Layton finished off Game 5 as the Flyers' new goalie and preserved the 4-0 shutout. Layton then got the start in Game 6 as expected, and he made the most of his opportunity by being perfect through 59 minutes until the Boston Bruins scored late. It was still a 2-1 win for the Flyers, and wouldn't you know it, the Flyers had a chance to win Game 7 and come back from an insurmountable 3-0 deficit. The Bruins actually led 3-0 in Game 7 at the TD Garden in Boston, but they simply couldn't avoid a significantly embarrassing collapse. James Van Riemsdyk, who didn't score a single goal in the playoffs prior to tonight, netted a very important goal late in the first period to give his teammates new life and ending the shutout attempt. The Flyers then scored 3 more unanswered goals to win a surprising...
Okay, in 3, 2... Welcome to the Intermission Report brought to you by SBS. It took a while for Team Red to get rolling here. but now with a commanding 3-0 lead. Andrew Holtzman, one of the goal scorers in that first half. And Andrew, how was this team able to get to start rolling and scoring and putting up some goals?
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
You and I were chatting a little bit before this interview, but just how special is it to be part of the All-Star experience and be able to have opponents you played against all season, but now some of your teammates?
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome experience, you know. One in a lifetime, you know, this is new to all of us, so it's a great opportunity to be here.
And also some experience for you before you head down to Nationals for the Bulldogs. What's it mean for the team to make it to that level, and what can we expect from you guys in New York?
You know, we competed so hard all year, and the boys did it. We well deserved, and we're excited for Nationals. We're going to go deep.
All right, Andrew, enjoy the moment.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it from the intermission report. We'll be back for the second half in just a bit.
Back to the action here at Arctic Ice Arena. It's red 3, white 0. 25 more minutes of hockey unless we go to overtime. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe. Bob, we had Andrew Holtzman in the intermission report. He talked about what it took to get that breakaway, but let's not forget about Bobby Barrett. His breakaway made it 2-0.
And Holtzman played for the Chicago Bulldogs, and their record was 21-6, so he's a good player on a good team.
What are your predictions for this period, partner? I don't think White's going to win the game, but I'd be shocked if they go scoreless.
Well, yeah, you got a point on the going scoreless part. I'm thinking that Red is going to continue the pressure. The story of the game, to me, has been the forecheck of the Red team. Holtzman, Zitzman, and Barrett were the recipients of the goals, but it wasn't because of the hard work from the rest of the team. It was good and have been goals. So they're doing an outstanding job on the forecheck. To me, that's been the story of the game. Now, we should have different goalies. So
yeah, Stoutacre is in net for Red team.
Right, I'm sorry. So the next breakaway goal is probably not going to be a goal on the glove side.
Netsky in net between the pipes for the white team, as maybe a little chirping or maybe some friendly banter between both teams, as before we get the second period face-off, both teams talking to each other a little bit at center ice.
Yeah, we forgot to look it up to see if that was a little bit of fun behind the net where they were pretending to start a fight earlier in that game. But yeah, I love that name, Netsky, for a goalie. It rhymes with Gretzky and the name Netsky, and he's a goalie.
And he's a net minder.
Yes, he is a net
it's
minder.
A perfect.
The netminder Netsky.
Did I tell you the time that I was doing play-by-play commentary for a travel hockey team from Arkansas? They don't know too much hockey down in Arkansas, so a parent of one of the dads had no idea what I meant by netminder.
Oh my, yeah. Well, you know, speaking of names like Netsky, the other day we had the basketball player named Brickman.
Yeah, it's true.
Or was it Bricker? Maybe it was Bricker. And he's shooting bricks from the three-point line.
You can say those jokes because you have 2 kids. Red team wins the face-off. We appreciate you watching. Text line still open, 330-957-7653. Stolen away by Red on the face-off dot as they try to send it up that time to Jamaro. Now into their own zone. As Red team looking to preserve the shutout, to do so, Stoutacre's got to be great between the pipes, perfect in fact, to preserve that shutout.
And I'm also intrigued they didn't change ends. And when you're in the second period in hockey games, it makes a difference because you've got longer line changes to make. Sometimes that makes a difference, but here we're not going to see that.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too, partner, but you know what? They want to make it simple for the kids, and also, you know, I think the scouts also want to see, can White make the adjustments? They're not closest to the netminder on their line changes, so they want to see what kind of adjustments they can make since they won't be close to the netminder on line changes.
Well, I can tell you what I would be looking for is forechecking and hustle. And of course, obviously being a good teammate, but you can't really tell if they're a good teammate from this far away sometimes, right? But I'm looking for forecheck and hustle, speed.
And by good teammate, what you probably mean is if he's open, pass it. Hear the taps of the stick on the ice, get that puck to it right on his tape.
Well, and other things, you know, saying things to the player, you know, if something goes bad, you know, you're not running away, looking down, you know, you're going back to the player and tapping them and saying, you know, good try or something positive.
You know, White team's down 3-0, partner, but the hustle is still there. They're playing hard even though they're down by 3 goals. That try to redirect it that time by Red. White trying to get it out past the blue line on the tape, 2-on-2 for White. Zubiak has it. Zubiak, lead pass, and frozen up by Stoudacre.
Yeah, if he had given up a rebound on the weak side, that was going to go in the net. So that was a wise time to sit on the puck.
Congratulations and good luck to Hawks U18 goalie Brendan Kelly. Good luck to Jamison Thulin of the Vikings from Mom and Dad. Face-off won by Red. He's had a good game, Jamison. There really hasn't been a guy that's had a bad game, as 2 of the 3 goals from Red were just great goals. The third goal was off a pinch, but even then, Holtzman did a good job on the breakaway.
Well, and that's the same goalie that made that point-blank save earlier in the game with his blocker. So he's good with the blocker, but not as good with the glove side. You don't know, but maybe the red team went to school on that blocker save and figured, well, we're not going to score goals on the blocker side. Let's shoot at the glove side later, and obviously both shots went in.
Yeah, playing goalie is just so tough, partner. We always talk about what's the hardest position to play. You always go with any position that you're forced to try to hit that little white ball, especially a breaking ball on an 0-2 count. I still think the hardest position to play is a goalie. It's just you got to have the right mindset of going into that goalie crease and allowing 110-mile-an-hour fastball pucks to go at your chest.
Well, and there's a mental aspect to it also. You can only give up goals. You can't go back and get your own goal and all right, you can score it on me. Yeah, I'm going to go score on you. In basketball, you give up a basket to somebody else, you go at the other end, and you get your own basket. You can't do that as a goalie. He got decked there.
Except in D2, the Mighty Ducks, where Russ Tyler with the knuckle puck at the blue line to tie it up against Iceland. Keenan Thompson's best movie, in my opinion.
You get to an all-star game like this, and what I was visualizing, of course, is somebody go behind the net, pick the puck up on their stick, and take it and above the ground, put it in below the crossbar from behind the goalie. It's the kind of play I want to see a wrap around.
White team will take it. Gio Bargini on the faceoff, won by Red. Something these white players got to work on, partner. Red team is dominating the faceoffs right now.
Yeah, faceoffs lead to puck possession, time of possession, more opportunities, and eventually goals.
And something the officials that I like about that they're not doing, partner, is they're dumping the puck in, but sometimes they're not quite past center ice when they do so. In a regulation or postseason game, that would be an icing. In this game, let's have fun. Let's not call icings all night.
Well, I've always been a fan, even in baseball, of the neighborhood play. So if they're hitting in from around the red line, that's okay. Same with offsides. And then, of course, pro hockey went to the replay on offsides calls. You can score a goal, and 30 seconds later, you go back and look at the offside.
Redirect try. Sabank there to protect his netminder. On the attempt on the redirect was Riley Fomitid. We appreciate all our sponsors, including Bruns & Bruns in New Lenox, 815-485-5656. And your last chance to text your favorite high school, college, or NHL memory, 330-957-7653.
Something else you note here with this All-Star game is the line changes happen very, very quickly. The face-offs right away. There's no waiting, just happens right away.
That shot goes wide, rebound, try, and they can't get into the net. Zach Palick from Littleton on the attempt.
He sure had his eyeballs on that high goalie right side.
It's always tough, partner, when you're right next to the goalie. You have really no time to get that top shelf goal past his glove or blocker side.
Yeah, too close and no angle. But regardless, it was a good save.
Time not necessarily running out for White, partner, but you'd like to see him score the next 3 minutes or so. Any adjustments they can make on offense to try to get one past the netminder?
Well, it would have to be pinch on defense to keep the puck in the other zone. Like here, it was basically one and done, and then they're out. The 2 adjustments I think White needs to make is crisp outlets, and then they're going to have to pinch in on offense, except that could lead to more breakaways too, and then it becomes a 4-0 game.
So you're down 3-0. When the defenseman pinch, since you're down 3 goals, do you want to bring the closest forward that's to the defenseman pitching back as the second defenseman, or do you want to go all in to try to score to make it 3-1?
No, well, in the normal game, yeah, you would pinch in the near defender and let the other one have the outlet in case something goes bad. You got to have somebody back. But this is also an all-star game, so I'm starting to question myself. If you're actually even trying to win the game, you're trying to make everybody in the best possible light that they can. And I think you're probably best playing the game straight up. And even if you end up losing 3-0 or maybe 4-1 with no opportunity to catch up, at least everybody is in a good light and it shows well for the scouts.
And And just to play devil's advocate for that, some of these coaches and scouts that are watching the game in the box next to us, they want to see how you adjust in a game. Right now you're down 3-0, 20:08 remaining. Do you pinch right away? How do you pinch? These scouts would like to see how you do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that pinching is really what an all-star game is going to be about. And nobody is ranking the coaching staff here. Nobody's saying, well, they're making the better adjustments than the other team. Centered in front, just missed.
Yes, that's played dead. And the goalie's glove
So
falls
that would be a conversation I guess we would have to ask the coach. Are you making adjustments in an all-star game because you are down to 3? Or are you just saying, try harder, play better, connect on a few more passes, work a little harder behind the net, something along those lines, but not necessarily a strategy change?
Loose puck, and it dribbles out near the bench. Michael Zubiak on it, out behind the net. Got to give credit where credit is due to this Red defense. All 6 defensemen were great tonight. And if things continue, it's going to be a 3-0 shutout or 4-0 shutout win for Red.
Well, there's just a really lightning quick transition from Red. The forwards knew the defense was going to get it, and then went up ice.
Shot, rebound, try. Just Red played a little bit better today, partner, especially on the forechecks. White so far has not gotten it in the zone deep enough to have some chances on net.
There's been no sustained pressure.
2-on-2, centering pass. Even then, it's so hard to get that pass off. There's 2 men right in the middle of that passing lane.
Yeah, maybe if there's an MVP to give out this game, it's not the goal scorers, but somebody on the Red defense.
I think he would give it to all 6. The game pucks. All 6 defensemen give them a game puck. I mean, this is just a team shutout. And credit is also due to the goalies. They've been good when needed, but they just haven't been pressured enough today. That's a dangerous play right in front of your own netminder. Almost a cross-check, too. And the officials, man, unless you, punch somebody in the face, partner, these officials are not calling anything thus far.
Well, and that's what you should be calling. Nothing unless it's really flagrant and obvious.
But you got to be careful. If there's a check from behind or charging, you're going to have to call that. But kind of an in-between cross-check. I would have been okay with a penalty there, but I understand why they didn't call it. Here comes White. They've got an odd man rush. Trying to center it out in front. Bargini on it. Yes, they'll pinch again. They'll probably pinch the rest of the game, Bob, try to make it 3-1. Red keeping it in.
So far they are doing that, but it's not working either.
Just nothing's working right now. Red steals it again. We said that a lot today. White gets it and then quickly stolen away by Red. 3 goals. They were all scored in the first period, and it was 0-0 through the first 12 minutes of play. And then after that, partner, Red team stole away the show.
Well, it was just going to be a matter of time. We were talking about that before any of the goals got scored. The Red pressure was going to eventually result in a goal. You just never knew when. And White never had the breakaway materialize to make the score 1-0 in favor of White.
Out in front. Chance for their 4th goal. Just went wide.
Yeah, again, spoiled from behind.
Out in front, Brody Netsky is 6'1", 170 pounds, the netminder this period for White team. He's from the Bulldogs, and his favorite player is goalie Andrei Vasilevsky. Revolta gave up 3 goals in the first period. We always talk about in football how quarterbacks get too much of the blame and too much of the credit. You think in hockey sometimes that's the same truth. That's a one-timer chance in front. And great save that time by Netsky.
Yeah, he read that play all the way, got in front. It's just a great save. It was a good, quick shot. There was open net when he shot it, but the goalie closed it down. The only way that would have gone in is if you lifted it high into the corner or stick handled the other way or look for another player open. But you got to take that shot and hope the goalie can't get there. That's one of those where the goalie made a good play, and it was also a good shot.
Sure was, but I brought it up in terms of playing the position of goalie. Do you think goalies get too much of the credit, too much of the blame? Like when you look at the box score, oh man, Revolta gave up 3 goals. He's the reason we lost tonight.
Well, no, I mean, you're saying it absolutely right. It's a team effort, including the defense. You got to block shots. You wonder how many block shots are going to happen in an all-star game, for example, but you got to block shots. You got to stop the passes. You got to keep your man away from the goalie. Those two of those goals were breakaways.
They were awesome goals, too, especially the goal by Barry. He only had a half step on the defense. Holtzman's goal was good, but he still had 2 steps on the nearest defender. But those were both snapshot. They weren't those crazy Patrick Kane dekes. It was just, I'm 2 steps in front of the goalie. I'm snapshotting into the back of the net.
Yeah, and above the pad and below the mitt.
So we had Holtzman in the intermission report. No post-game for the 16U game. We will get 2 pregame interviews for 18U. As that's played at the face-off dot. Chance for White out in front, and maybe getting a stick on that was Stoutacre from the Sabres.
Well, he did a great job at just closing down the near point. He's a big guy, right? 6'4", 200 pounds. There was just nowhere to go on the near side. The only place he could go had been around him to the far side, and the defense would let that happen. But if you're looking for next level goalies, I mean, he's got the size to be a real strong goalie at the next level.
He sure does, partner.
And he's only 16. What does that say? He's going to grow some more still.
Possibly, yeah, or he'll stop growing.
Yeah, not likely.
His favorite, Tug Stoutacre's favorite NHL player is Happy Gilmore. Happy did not play in the NHL, Stoutacre. You blew it.
You know, when somebody brought up Vasilevsky as the favorite player, I was like, now how did they select him?
Well, he plays for the Lightning, partner.
Yeah.
But Happy Gilmore, not only is he a fictional character, is that from a tough angle, that shot, he didn't even play in the National Hockey League. He couldn't even make Junior C, that backhanded shot off the pad.
So you know he's got a sense of humor for sure.
Now, did you watch the show Modern Family?
I wasn't a fan.
Whatever. As that's in front. The girlfriend, Happy Gilmore's girlfriend, is the main character in Modern Family. Just a little tidbit
That
for
would be
you.
one of those factoids I didn't know.
Was it one of those factoids you needed to know?
Yeah, the household I'm in watches Modern Family all the time, and then I go into the other room and I watch a movie without commercials.
Well, you can TiVo anything and just, fast forward.
That's true.
That in front, almost an own goal. Went off the skate that time of Rupich. That would have been a stinky way to end your shutout on an own goal. As now Holtzman, who has a goal tonight on the attack. Stop and start move. No check from behind. He just lost his edge. As White will play it, and a lot of good skating. Trying to go coast to coast with it. Past the blue line out to Zubiak. And he'll send it the other direction. Now played by Bargini. Bargini out behind the net. As White still being shut out tonight.
Yeah, Red needs to maintain its intensity. They've got a 3-goal lead. And, if it was a regular game and you end up behind or ahead 3-1, it's not a real big deal. But here you got a shutout in an all-star game. I mean, keep it going.
Here comes White on the attack. As it's played out behind the end line. Good hit. I mean, red team is just winning every battle, it seems like. Just when White has some forecheck pressure, a hit, leveling up on the body, and then red team gets it out.
Yeah, and a 2-on-1.
Backhanded pass, trying to back check quickly. Is White almost an own goal off the skate. Puck loose, shot, and it's deflected. Red team will play it in the slot, falling to the ice, looking for the trip. I like the no-call partner. Looked like he just fell on his own accord.
Well, and that's what I like about this forechecking and the hustle. I mean, looking at players like Rupich and the hustle that they are showing out here is just outstanding.
Olympic-style icing, and we'll stop play at 13-13.
You get, 30, 45-second shifts? That's all you get, and then you're on the bench for 3 more shifts. Man, you better give it your all on every shift, and the red team is. Yeah, I think he just lost his footing. He wasn't tripped from behind anyway, nor was he trying to fake it.
Zitzman, that time, one of the few times that White has won the faceoff. Nick DeGeorge from the Leafs won that one.
Well, it's still Red's puck.
Yeah.
There's a breakaway possibility.
He has a half step on the defender, spinorama chance, and it's poke checked out by red team. It was a battle of 17s, and that time it's won by Tyler Vaughn.
Yeah, needed another extra MPH on that to get it behind him.
Story of the game thus far, 3 goals in the first period. That goes wide. You can't blame Revolta, though. 2 of the goals were on breakaways. And partner, you're not going to win any hockey games when you don't score any goals. Out in front, off the stick, puck loose, rebound try. Red team maintaining the pressure on the forecheck. Saucer pass.
What a great pass.
Here comes Houston. Shot, top shelf attempt, goes just above the crossbar.
Deflected off the goalie's glove, over the net. 4-on-2 now.
Maybe the Zamboni didn't do a great job. A lot of players losing their edge thus far. Houston with it. Stop and start move, but poke checked away. Good job on the play by Minnie. Now at neutral ice, white team with it, off the boards, red team after it on the tape. Puck loose in the slot, backhanded try, off a stick, and white team maintaining the pressure led by DeGeorge. Here comes White at neutral ice. White gets it, some beautiful moves at center ice. Little tap pass over the stick of Houston. At the corner, Houston after it as he battles that time with Minnie. Out behind the net at the hash mark. Red team trying to get it out, but a great pinch. That time delivered by the defenseman in 81. Actually, that's 51, Speh.
You know, if there's pressure on somebody, I would have to say it's on Staudiker to maintain this shutout. He wasn't in it for the first period when they got the 3-goal lead, but now it's up to him to keep the shutout.
Ewer tried to send it over that time to Speh, and now out to the other end. I think if you're red team partner, you're really sniffing that shutout. You'd love to get it in this All-Star game.
Yeah, even though I'm an offensive-minded player on red, I'm going to come back on defense as much as possible and just preserve it. Still 10 minutes to go, but it's only 10 minutes. It was a nice centering pass.
I mean, you want to be fair to your goalies, right? They played a heck of a game. You want to preserve that shutout.
Here's 2-on-1 the other way.
White team trying to get rid of that shutout. Deeks, one-timer try, can't get it off. And it's blocked again by red. The best chance all night for White. And what is it? Another block shot by red.
Yeah, another one pass too many kind of a play maybe.
They got it to the trailer, but you're right, partner. Maybe too many passes on that play. Got to get something on net.
Yeah, red got back quick on defense after that 2-on-1.
The fastest game on ice. Little saucer pass as he feeds it over to Bargini. No, sorry, that time it's McCammon. Out behind the net, Red with it, trying to send it back up to McCammon. On his stick, McCammon shot, wrister off the blocker. That time of the netminder in Netsky. Out behind the net, White trying to get it out, but Red saying, I don't think so, we're going to keep it in. Now to McCammon. McCammon, snapshot, blocked that time by Ewert. Out in the corner, red team still maintaining the forecheck pressure. Under 10 minutes to go. McCammon with it, out to the hash mark. He tries to feed it that time as he got it over to Palick. Now on the faceoff dot, White team with it, and here comes White team. White with it, 2-on-2. Shot, tough angle shot, easy save that time by Staudaker. Out behind the net, trying to set it up in front. And a poke check attempt, but couldn't get it that time by Rupich. Out in the corner, spinorama try, Rupich on it, and played closely that time by Scavone. White maintaining the pressure, stop and start move out behind the net. Played that time by Bargini. Out behind the net, stolen away by Red. After all that, partner, all of that attempt by White, they can't get a shot on net.
But what an exciting run there by White in the other zone finally.
Out behind the net, played that time by Palick. He's tied up closely by Zels. Zels trying to break it out. He sends it up off the boards, kept in by Red. Shot by Holtzman. Top shelf attempt, blocker, saved by Netsky. Out behind the net, Zels with it off the corner at the hash mark past the blue line. Saucer pass attempt, trying to get it over that time to Zubiak. Red team. Now they can take their time with under 9 minutes to go. Pass center ice, 3 men on it, and spacing by Red as that pass was right on the tape, stolen away. Here comes White, past the blue line. White on the attack, Zubiak to the blue line. Looking for Zubiak, instead set out in front. Zubiak off his skate, puck loose in the slot, Thulin shot. Another big time save by Staudaker. Now played by White, Zels with it, he sends it up to center ice. Played by Thulin. Thulin, no look backhander to Zels, fakes the snapshot, tapped away by Red. Red on the forecheck.
It's a 3-on-1 now.
Oh, man, this is going to be tough for the lone defender. Fakes the shot out in front. Oh, it went off his own teammate's skate.
What a save.
A save, too, but it also went off McCammon's skate. He was in the way of the shot.
3-on-1 that didn't happen.
You can't blame White, though. You want to maintain the pressure. No look shot. Oh, my goodness, what a save.
I don't know if the blaming White's the right word. Red is just playing an outstanding game with some all-stars. That's all. That's going to be offside.
Both defensemen were pinching on that play. That's what led to the 3-on-1. But you can't blame them. You're down 3-0. Nothing else is work. You might as well pinch in 2 now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In an all-star game like this, I don't know if the goal is to win the game. I think the goal is to put everybody in the best possible light that they can be in. So pinching in might not be the right strategy. So you go ahead and lose the game 3-0 or 4-1, but play the game the right way, and you can score without pinching.
Do you consider pulling Netsky if you're down 3 with under 5 minutes to go?
I would not pull a goalie here. In fact, I wouldn't pull it down 3 either. So like a minute or 2, I wouldn't pull the goalie, not down 3. Now, if they do pull within 1, then I would pull the goalie.
So you wouldn't pull him if you're down 2 with under 3 minutes to go?
I don't think I would, not here. It would make for exciting hockey with a bunch of all-stars. I think pulling the goalie with any time here is going to result in a goal against you. So you got to be within 2 first.
Off the stick of Cox at center ice. Cox on it.
What I don't understand is when you get a power play late in the game, late in the third quarter, why isn't there a pulled goalie then? Because you're going to have a 6-on-4 advantage.
The third quarter? This isn't basketball.
Did I say quarter?
Ball.
Oh, my goodness.
Too much basketball for you.
I've still got Bricker on my mind.
That was a very aggressive play by Netsky.
Yeah,
he was almost stolen away. Hasek used to do that a lot.
Well, yes.
Brodeur was famous for that. 1-on-1. Gotta be quick though, as the defenders are there in the back check. Off the glove.
That was headed in. Stoudaker with a good save.
Yeah, he's been the better of the 2 goalies.
Yeah, this is when you say he has been a stout goalie.
Ah! You're on fire tonight. Except that you don't like Modern Family. You blew that one.
Yes.
Red up by 3 out behind the net.
You got to elevate that wraparound.
It's a tough goal to make. Kaner is perfect at that, as was Taves in his prime.
Yeah, you got to elevate the puck. Otherwise, you're going to go right into the goalie's pads.
It's a good try, though, because regardless, you're going to get a rebound try off the pad, maybe get a rebound goal.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why players like it. You go ahead and shoot it at the pad, and then when the rebound happens, there's a lot happening in the front, plus the goalie's on one side or the other.
Any adjustments White's going to make the last 6 minutes?
Well, you said they were pinching in, so obviously that's one adjustment they are making. I don't think I would make that adjustment. I think I would lead to whatever the game plan was and continue to do that.
Sent up to Red off the stick.
That might have been off of Stoudemire's face mask.
Stoudaker's,
I'm sorry. Got a picture on the Yankees going there.
He's been great. Chamberlain, Nocera.
Uh-oh.
Shut out! Shutout no longer. Stoudaker not happy about it.
No, there was a great offensive move. It was a 2-on-1. There was a screen, went right around it, bounced the puck in past Stoudaker. What a great shot, good move. Now, it does get interesting for who's going to win this game, 3-1. Now you do want to pinch, maybe make it 3-2 before you have to get to a pull the goalie point. But you were asking about pulling the goalie. Maybe you do pull it with maybe 2.5 minutes to go, down by 2. I think they're talking about, was there interference on this? No, they're going to count it.
Was he in the goalie crease before the shot? I don't think he was.
It was just a well-played pick play.
Yeah, a little bit lazy hockey by Red, too. But you know what? People are tired. It's a lot of hockey, man. 25 minutes of hockey in one period that they played previously. That's a lot of hockey.
Yeah, it's different than teams are used to. 20 minutes 3 times, you get a break 5 minutes sooner.
Yeah,
here, that would have been, what, the 19-minute mark?
Yeah, 16 and 18 used. They play 17 or 18 minutes of hockey each period. And usually you get 20 minute Zambonis after each period, too.
That'll be offsides.
So White team is still alive thanks to Nick DeGeorge.
So we fell into a very exciting game here, 3-1 with 4:57 to go.
Nick DeGeorge, he had 8 goals, 18 assists, the best passer on the team. And now 9 goals as he scored on that great snapshot into the back of the net.
It's about time the guy with all the assists gets the goal.
Yeah, Draisaitl is great for that. McDavid scores a lot of their goals, but Draisaitl, all the assists for Edmonton. And Draisaitl can also score as well. I'd like to see him win an MVP before his career's over. They love their hockey in Edmonton. Out to the blue line. It's hard to think, but Edmonton at one time had Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier both on the same line. How crazy is that?
Yeah, how many Hall of Famers were on that roster?
How many cups would they have won if they had never traded Gretzky to the LA Kings? Well, they're winning the period, White is, Bob. The problem is they gave up 3 goals in the first period, didn't score any.
Yeah, let's call this a tie. One team wins the first period, the other wins the second period. Then they all get trophies.
They all get orange slices and juice boxes.
Oh no, yes.
And we'll go to the campfire and I'll sing Kumbaya with s'mores. out to the boards. It's kind of a delayed call, and White's not happy about it, partner, because they were getting an attack going.
Yeah, I heard the parents on the other side finally speak up. No way.
So if you want to pull the goalie, you probably do it under 2:30 to go, and you have to get it deep into red territory, and that's where forechecking comes into play, Bob, because you got to get it deep in, and you got to keep possession of the puck enough time for your goalie to get to the bench.
Oh, that's for sure. And in the moment, though, the red team has done most of the forechecking.
They've got numbers off the stick. Got to elevate that puck because it was read easily by Stoutacre.
Yeah, the change White has to make is a little more effective forechecking.
And if you're red, now you can play as aggressive as you want because the shutout is no longer. That should have been a hooking, no call. The fans aren't happy about it either, and now it's stopped. That might be a penalty.
No, they're not going to call a penalty. I think they're just going to call a face-off somewhere. Not a penalty. Please, not that.
And it looks like holding the stick.
Oh boy, the red team, 7, Geramo is getting sent to the penalty box. So it'll be a 2-minute power play for Team White, down by 2 goals. Now here's the situation I was talking about sooner. Pull the goalie, because the goalie's doing no good at one end. There's only 3:31 to go, and you're down 2. So don't wait to pull the goalie, do it now.
Yeah, so you go here.
White keeping it in at the point. Siegel with it.
Who has the power play?
2-minute cross-checking penalty. Now the white team is saying the red team hit the puck out in their own zone. Is that a penalty? The question is, did it get deflected or not? They need another puck.
So they're going to take a timeout. We're going to take a 30-second break as well. You're watching SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone. Okay.
Insulate your home today and save big with Ecotech Insulation. Ecotech Insulation will save you up to 50% on your heating and cooling bills. Plus, you can receive up to a $1,500 federal tax credit and another $1,500 cash rebate from your gas company. Ecotech will lower your energy bills and give you a healthier, quieter, and more energy-efficient home. Call Ecotech Insulation at 847-675-1400. See the foam grow and save a ton of dough.
Back to the action here at SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone. 147 on the power play for red, as it clearly was a holding the stick. I would have called a hook, but either way, it's a power play for red, and now White is really in a pickle right now.
Yeah, I think the signal came in cross-check, so that surprised me a little bit that they called that. But 3-1, I don't understand. Oh, they did pull a goalie, and it's in the net. Deflected by 13. That's to George. So now 3-2 with just 3:10 to go. Geramo's going to come out of the penalty box, so it's a 1-goal game.
No, because White scored. It's their penalty, so they got to stay in the box. Wait, I thought it was...
White got the goal, so it's 3-2. Red comes out of the box.
That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah.
It was White's power play.
Right, White's power play, and they got the goal, so now it's and they got the goal, so it's 3-2. Red comes out of the out of the box, so it's now 5-on-5 for the last 3:10. But what we were talking about earlier is during a late power play when you're down by a goal or two, that's when you should pull the goalie. That's why White team called timeout, pulled the goalie right at the faceoff, didn't even let him go off as the play went on. just excellent strategy there from a well-coached all-star team. So 3-2 with 3:01. They're probably going to pull the goalie with a minute and a half. Almost a goal on the rebound there.
How about this? White has outscored them 2-0 with 2 goals in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, aided by a power play on a cross-check. That's how penalties in hockey have such a big effect on the game. The goalie was completely screened, a shot from the point. So now we got a tie game in an all-star game. Maybe we're going to find out what the overtime rules are.
How about that? White team has scored 3 unanswered goals.
Yeah, that puck was not deflected either. It just was just a long shot from the point. He had some air under it, and the goalie was completely screened on the blocker side, and it went in 3-3.
That one I think Stoutacre should have had, but here we go. 3 goals apiece for both teams. We talked about, is it going to be a 3-0 shutout win for Red? White team must have been hearing us because they scored 3 unanswered goals, and it might be golden goal to see who is the victor.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what the overtime rules are going to be for this game.
Or we might just have a tie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking will probably happen.
There's no game after the 8 o'clock game, so we could delay it with a shootout.
Yeah, we could be here all night. That would be awesome. This is a lot of fun to be here, and what an exciting game. And somehow, I mean, it would have been nice for Red to go ahead and win that game 3-0, but it's way better. I think 3-3, a tie, and everybody plays to a really good game.
After the game, we all play Xbox, and everybody's friends with each other.
They probably are already friends with each other in many cases.
Shot goes wide. Did you see some? Oh, here comes White. We'll ask you after this rush, this time by White. Shot. Blocker saved by Stoutacre.
Yeah, they've got some momentum, and Stoutacre is, maybe reeling a little bit. Yeah, keep shooting the puck on him. You only got 1:31, but don't be shy. Let it fly.
Both teams probably going to avoid pinching. As that pass at the point, blocker save, loose in the slot. White team goes after it, a pinch.
Yeah, the pinching is over.
Well, he pinched that time, but he did have a forward back as Denny was on the pinch. Denny shoots it in, goes very wide, under 1:15 to go.
So we'll get a shift change or two, and that's it.
Yeah, you might see just one more line change to end this period. Now it's the time, even if it's a bad angle, shoot, get it on net, and try to get a rebound. Can't be too cute with the puck. Tied up on the hash mark, but White team wins that battle. Shot, blocked, Red team on it. And Red team taking their time off the glass. I don't think that was touched, partner, and there's a broken stick on the ice.
Yeah, they waved off the icing.
That's a trip, no call.
No, I think he just fell on his own.
No. There's another trip, no call.
I don't think he fell on his own.
Did he really fall on his own, or
embellished?
Or, yeah. Or because it's an all-star game, he fell on his own. A tripping call would definitely change the complexion of this game and make it a 5-on-4 to end it. 10 seconds left in the period.
10 seconds ago.
At the point.
Getting a little physical
off
here.
The blocker, Red with one last rush, and that'll do it for the period. How about that? White team scores 3 unanswered in the second period. We'll wait to see if we have overtime.
So we predicted 6-4 or 6-5. Turns out neither one of us was right. It's a 3-3 tie.
The officials talking it over with the benches. And I couldn't hear the public address announcer.
Yeah, I missed it.
I think he said 4-on-4 for 5 minutes.
I'd like to see that. 5-on-5 for 5 minutes, and the 4-on-4 for 5 minutes, and 3-on-3 for 5 minutes until finally somebody scores the right way, or organically.
See 1-on-1.
I guess it'd eventually be a goalie against a goalie, right?
And we give them sticks, but they still have to wear the pads.
That would be different.
Or like they're allowed to change skates, so they get to wear their teammates' regular skates.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be hypocritical, because I have to tell you, you see a breakaway once in a lifetime in a hockey game, right? But then the shootouts, you see them all the time. So I was a proponent of seeing those shootouts. I really think when they mean 4-on-4, they mean 3 skaters and a goalie.
Well, right now we've got no goalies in the net, so they might be playing crossbar and bars.
Oh, I think you'll see a goalie, but I don't know. But they didn't tell us the rules. But let's make a guess: 3 players and a goalie with 5 minutes, and it's 1 period. I don't think there'll be a shootout, but there goes the goalie on each side. I don't think there'll be a shootout, but wouldn't that be fun if there is?
It's redemption time for Stoutacre. Can he maintain the 3-3 tie and help his team win in overtime?
Well, and there is a temptation to put back Nocera.
Right, because each goalie played 25 minutes.
Right. Why not go to the goalie that they had the 3-goal lead?
You'd love to keep Stoutacre's confidence intact. White team, I don't know what the coaching staff said for white team partner, but the last 5 minutes, they played with extra energy. Here's a breakaway. Shot for Holtzman. Just goes wide. That would have been his second goal of the game and the game winner.
And it was another shot at the glove side. So he remembers how he scored his first goal.
But remember, that was on Revolta. This time he tries to go on Netsky, and Netsky played it well. Stoutacre with a big stout save.
Yeah, he has a big frame there. He had to stand up to get that puck at the top of the net. He was down low waiting for it. So if you're 20 players going 3 in at a time, that's like 6 line changes before you get back to the top of the lineup again.
It's been a fun one.
It has.
Did not expect this. I thought it was going to be a high-scoring affair. Then it was 0-0 for most of the first period. Then 3-0. Now it's 3-3, and it's come from nowhere.
Yeah, drop back pass to nobody.
Yeah, 3-on-3. It's a lot different than 5-on-5. It's going to open up a little bit.
Yeah, this is 2-on-1. This is where possession is everything.
Alpi with a good pass for the win.
There it is.
It's in the net. Red team wins.
Glove side.
Zachary Palick. And Netsky just shrugs it off. Guys, you got to help me out, man. I got no chance on a 2-on-1.
Well, and that's the thing. It was a 3-on-3, right? And somehow it turned into a 2-on-1 on one pass.
Yeah, because remember, it's not 5-on-5. If you're late getting back on defense and you're not playing your man well, a 3-on-3 can become a 2-on-1 a lot quicker than 5-on-5.
Well, virtually instantly is what we saw. But 3 goals on the goalie's glove side.
So we get the overtime we wanted. It took about a minute for it to end. And Zachary Palick with the game winner. We had 7 different goal scorers today. The winning goalie goes the way of Stoutacre, and the tough luck loser, Brody Netsky.
Well, and if you have to analyze things too, you almost feel like the red team should have won and finally did win. They had such a good job forechecking in the first period, but then in that second period, White came back obviously with some real nice hard forecheck goals of their own. But then Red finally got the game winner at the end. It was almost like they took their foot off the gas in the second period. So it might have been more what Red didn't do in that second period than what White did do, but still a 4-3 final and a very exciting game.
So we will take a break, and the 18U pregame show coming up next. If you want to watch it, just search Central State's All-Star Game on YouTube. So far, excellent crew for Bob Vilsoe. Chris Angela and Carol Lentz, I'm signing off. Kyle Smith, a 4-3 win for Red Team, and we'll see you in about a couple minutes from now for the 18U All-Star Game.